Hey, with you is Sami Yunis, former doctoral candidate, Department of Economics and Business Development, Capella University. Once again, welcome and thank you for tuning up to another instructional video on how to start a small business company or improve an existing one. My last video, if some of you recall, I talked about or rather I share some tips on how to name your business and create a competitive logo that will stand out in public and as well become memorable in the minds of customers and clients, right? Today I'm going to be talking about something different. It's a business topic. It's actually a request. Somebody was asking me why a lot of small businesses, especially in the transportation sector, fail dramatically within 2-3 years. And my response to that question at the time to him is that it is difficult to compete with mega carriers in this sector of business, because a lot of those mega carriers, they buy fuel in a bulk, in a tank size, and as a consequence of that, they get a huge discount compared to small business owners, like small carrier. This is one. Two, a lot of those mega carriers, they have their own repair shops and employ technicians. So in the event if their equipment breaks down, they have their own shop. But for example, for me, if my equipment breaks down, now I have to look for a repair shop and pay the bill out of my working capital. And if I don't have that, I'll be out of business, in a month. I'll be out of business in a month. That's how shaky this business is. That is a risk. And another factor that they have, advantage factor that they have, is that they are self-insured. I remember when I was working for CR England Transportation Company, the insurance company that sells their policy, they own that insurance company. God damn it. How can you compete with them? For me now, I have to find a third-party insurance company, to get my policy. In the event of, God forbid, some risk, accident happen, they will cover my behind, literally speaking. But mega carriers, they have that advantage. Some of them, water transportation, for example, they own the insurance. A lot of them are self-insured, so it really doesn't matter, And this gives them a lot of advantage against small business companies. And it's like when you own the insurance company, is like the payment is still coming back to you. That liability payment you're making every month or every year is still returning back to your company's account. So that's one advantage that they have that small carriers that doesn't have. Another thing I could think of, because they have a reputation and network with various institutions, they built up their brand many years ago. They already know they have that advantage of getting contracts with other bigger businesses like Walmart, Target, all those shop chain retail stores that you see at the mall. They can lock up those big boys in a contract and living basically bones on the table for smaller carriers to come and, you know, scramble it. You know what I mean? But here's the thing now I learned from being as a small business owner is that too often also there are so many middlemen in the business. But a lot of times we deal with a broker, and you have to pay those brokers. That cuts out, you know, cuts out of your revenue, you know, from your revenue, things that you're supposed to be your profit. You know, you got to pay them 15% every now. You know, every time they you know, they get you consignment. Fuel also. Fuel is very, you know, fuel is killing us here. Fuel is extremely, you know, expensive, you know, and the prices are always jumping up and down. You know. A lot of times we have to rely on what called fuel surcharge. So if you buy certain amount in a certain location, then you can get rebate, you know, that can come directly sometimes out of from the broker's account. So this is one. Too many middlemen in this business. Now, in addition to fuel and a brokerage fee, another one I can think of is when they send you your check, like when they consign you a contract, they're not going to pay you this Friday. It could be 21 days, could be 45 days. So in many times you have to use a factoring company to factor that check so you can get it, you know, this week. Then again, that factor company will take, you know, sometimes 7% off. You see? So by the time, so your total revenue that you're getting, you'll find 30% is all on expenses, you know, on brokerage fee, on a factoring fee, and then fuel also. And not to mention, if you're late, you know, there are penalties, you know, that can, you know, eats up your profit. So, in response to his question, you know, why small business, you know, there are too many middlemen. Two middleman dogs in between you and the shipper. You know, these include the brokers, the fuel stations, and factoring company. And not to mention, in the event if you have a breakdown, you know, a repair shop will, you know, if that particularly part is not covered under your warranty, you're going to have to pay out of the pocket. That's why you have to have a working capital, you know, for emergency. Anyhow, this is a, you know, quick emergency video that I thought I should, you know, shoot it out there. And, you know, if some of you also, you know, find it informative, you know, or not, you know, give me a thumbs up. Or ask me a question in private, or directly right here. I'll try my best to answer it. You know, it's not easy here, but if you keep your eye on the ball, you can somehow make it. All right, peace.